call working out or whatever. I'm blown away by the knowledge that she has. Obviously, she's been very successful. I mean, she told me she had won one competition, and then I walk in her office and there are these big old trophies like all over her whole, just like enormous. Anyway, she really knows what she's talking about. So I'm going to let her, this girl knows, has walked in and has done this for years, knows how to get the belly fat and all the rest of the fat off of your body. She's done it. She's not just talking about it. So I'm going to let her talk, and then hey, if you want to tell them a little more, because I know I don't have a formal introduction for her, I'll let you do that. All right? All right, MJ, all yours.
Hey, everybody. How you doing? You ready to listen to some more talk about belly fat, right? Yeah, I'm just going to share with you, just like Bree did, about where we're coming from and why I got into fitness and why I have a passion for this and everything. It's a brief history about me. I've always been athletic as a child. Track, cross-country running, things like that. I was in the military, so I'm a veteran. But I was in the Air Force, so don't think that I was, running like 20 miles a day or something. Air Force is a little bit different. Only one enlistment. I got out, married, went back to school for dental hygiene. I'm a hygienist. Really, that's what I actually went to school for. And through the years, I was married 15 years, but through the years, expecting, got pregnant, lost, got pregnant, got lost, got pregnant. Baffled in my head, I'm fit, why can't I have kids? So it happened a couple times, but one time I went at 6 months, and unfortunately we lost our baby. And a lot of times when I'm talking to people, I share this because they say, well, how many kids do you have to know about belly fat, right? And I say, well, I don't have any. And they say, see, that's what we're saying, what happens? Well, let me just briefly tell you. 6 months, I didn't just lose him, like you do in the first trimester. I actually had to go through labor. So things changed in my body. I'm talking to the women here. But, my belly, my abdominal area did split. Like when you carry a child, your diastema, which is a space of your right and left portion of your abdominal, the rectus abdominal, it did split. My body went through some changes. On top of that, me and my husband come home with no baby. So my mind went through changes. So one of the things that I share that with you, why I'm so passionate about this, is not because I'm 20-something years old. I'm 40 plus, and my body has been through some things. My mind has been through some things. And after we lost the baby at 34 actually, I finally decided that I wanted to compete at 30-something years old. So I didn't start competing when I was 20-something. Started competing later on in life. My goal, I went from 129 pounds pre-pregnancy to 172 pounds. Now, that was major to me because I've been small all my life. So 172 pounds, I'm 5'9". It was a lot of weight that I was carrying, extra weight. So I challenged myself to do the competition. And bottom line, end of story, 35 years old, finally did a competition, fell in love with the lifestyle of competing, and just started sharing it with others. And I finally went pro 3 years after competing, which is not normal in bodybuilding. But I went pro at 38 years old and hoping to get back on stage towards the end of this year. So me and Julie have talked about some things as far as shocking your body and changing your body and things like that. My body has really been through some things. And so with all of that said, I want to really get you to understand how, what Bree was saying about chemicals and toxins and things like that in your foods, but just understanding what you're doing right now. And like she said, it's actually pretty easy just to change a few things gradually, and you start to see the changes in your body. One of the key things about your diet is making sure that you eat in intervals. Your body is very smart, and a lot of times we come up with all these drops and injections and different things, I'm in bodybuilding, and there's a lot of anabolic stuff, steroids and things like that going on, a lot of things that you can take that will rip the weight off of you. But the bottom line is your body is so smart that it will either shut down or respond, for you, but you can't outsmart it, if that makes any sense. You really can't. You need to understand it and then work with it. And doing the interval eating, and I think some of you may know what I'm talking about, but that's basically, eating every 2 to 3 hours. Don't go a long period of time without eating. And a prime example is if you got in your car this morning here in North Carolina and you said you wanted to take a trip to New York, your car's on a quarter tank of gas, right? How far do you think you're going to get? Not far. But we do that to our bodies every day. Every day we get up from sleeping at night. If you go to bed at 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 a.m. you get up. 8 hours. Breaking a fast, breakfast. So you wake up in the morning after 8 hours of sleeping. If you didn't have anything to eat, I don't care if you had ice cream, a steak, or whatever at 10 o'clock. The bottom line is your body's been resting, it's been sleeping, it's been digesting. And we wake up and we're like getting the kids together and we're going. And we get in our car or and we just go. And we have a cup of coffee, Starbucks, we have a muffin, we have a bagel, you know what I mean? And we expect our bodies to function. We expect our bodies to burn fat. Not going to happen. You're just not going to be able to do that. And I say that because just like you understand that your car is not going to go 600, 800 miles up the road on a quarter tank of gas, your body is not going to do what you want it to do on a quarter tank of gas. So we need to understand that we must fuel our bodies. It is so, so key. As Brie was talking about insulin and things like that, there's key things that you need to understand about feeding your body. So eating frequently, right? Now when I say eating frequently, I don't mean Starbucks at 7, bagel at 7:30. Let's grab some Reese's Pieces out of such and such a secretary's desk. And then, I don't mean 7:30, 8 o'clock, 8:30, 9 o'clock. Yeah, she said to go ahead and eat throughout the day. No. Eat at 7. Eat again at 10. Eat again at, okay? Give your body time. When you fill up your car with gas, you can't just go and put gas right back in it. It'll overflow, right? Well, that's what happens to us when we raise and constantly eat. We overflow, and we overflow, and we overflow, okay? So understand how your body works, how it processes things. Work with it, okay? So first thing is eating frequently. I got gifts, so you better speak up. I got gifts. I didn't want to bring them around because I came in late, but I have gifts for some questions. So, but the first thing is we're going to eat frequently. So now we're going to talk about what we need to be eating. Bree talked about good fats and bad fats and things like that, and we're in a society right now. We are freaking out about carbohydrates, right? I know when I just don't eat any carbs, my body responds. Okay, your body was not designed to not eat carbs. God did not create that stuff for us not to eat it. Now, what type of carbs and how much of what we're eating, that's really a major issue. I know Bree did a handout, and I got the chance to kind of glance at some of the foods on there. So now you have an idea of what foods to eat and what not to eat. But understand, don't starve your body of carbohydrates. It is a very, very, very key macronutrient that you need in your diet to function.
It messes with your thyroid, right?
What's that?
It messes with your thyroid.
It messes with your thyroid and things like that. There's so many things it can mess with. And unfortunately, through the years, because we want to get the weight off of us, there have been so many things, and doctors, Dr. Atkins, and all these people coming out, and they start pushing this thing. You remember once it was pasta was good for you. Eat the pasta. Then it came out and said, no more pasta. Eat fats and protein. And then, all these things are coming out. People, I'm telling you, as an athlete who gets her body pretty ripped for show, carbohydrates are not the enemy. How we're eating the carbohydrates is the enemy, and what we're eating as far as the carbohydrates go is the enemy. So carbohydrates are not bad. Now, when I say about understanding how your body works and shocking your body, something that I do, and I do it with my clients, I don't just take them on a low-carb diet. Sometimes people tell me that they're carb sensitive. Yes, that's true. Some people are truly carb sensitive. But many times, you're not actually carb sensitive. It's because you've been low carb into no carb into back to carbs. You're low carb into no carb into back to carbs, and you're doing this roller coaster. And yeah, your body's going to be a little sensitive to something that hasn't been getting in a while. If If you haven't been eating, brown rice and things like that because you've just been eating, I don't know, some fruits and you've been eating meat or anything like that, and then you start giving it back to it, your body's going to respond. It's something new that's coming into your system. So just understand that it's not that you don't have to have no carbs, but let's just understand how to work these carbs a little bit, along with our protein or our fats. Something I do with my clients is I have them rotate their carbohydrates. And this is what we do when we're cutting or dieting down for a show. What we do is we take in a certain amount of not extremely high, a certain amount of carbohydrates in your diet. And if you get with Bree, I'm sure she can come up with a nutrition plan to tell you where your calories need to be. Once you know where your calories need to be, the next thing she's probably going to do is to tell you how much protein you need to be taking in, how much fats, how much carbohydrates. If you know that you're supposed to take in 180 grams of carbohydrates in a 1,500 calorie diet, I'm just throwing it out there. On Monday, I'm going to take in 180, and on Tuesday, I'm going to take in 180. And then on Wednesday, I'm going to drop down to like 100. And what we do on bodybuilding is we call these low carb days now. On Thursday, I'm going to drop down to a lower amount. I don't want to share how much because some of you probably have done that anyway and didn't even know you were doing it. But we drop down to a very low amount. And usually I only stay low for maybe 24 to 48 hours. Just enough time for your body to start responding to the fact that it's not getting any carbohydrates. So now, which is what Dr. Atkins came up with, I'm forcing my body to use it like doing. I don't hit that thing, right? Now what I'm doing is I'm forcing my body to use my protein and my fats as energy. And this is what happens on a low-carb diet. But just as soon as my body starts to adjust, my brain starts talking, and it's recognizing, and trust me, your body talks to you, they talk to each other. And it says things like, hey guys, slow it down, all right? We're not getting much carbohydrates, or she's cut calories. We need to slow down the way that we do things. And it'll start slowing down. And just as it's about to slow down, I give it back. And if you ever get your blood work done during this time, which I have done, I'm amazed at my blood lipids and everything, how my body changes, and I mean, weight just comes off, especially around my midsection. I don't become carb sensitive because my body has not gone long enough without the carbs to start responding, in a negative way. So I'm saying that to you that if you get with Bree or even myself as a trainer, I got some little gifts for you and something to share with you if you ever want to just talk one-on-one about how to put your diet together or whatever. I can share with you just basically where you need to be, shopping your body. You can have the foods that you like and understanding how to take those foods in and what time to take them in. It's not a hard program. I do something like 3 days of a certain amount of diet, and I do like Thursday, Friday, Saturday to a certain amount of my diet, and then I come back. And it's not a hard cycle to do. Understanding your foods, understanding what's in your foods, as Bree said, is so key. There's a lot of preservatives that are things that unfortunately make things taste good. Your taste buds are now addicted to that taste, and you have to, just like a baby, when we wean them off of a nipple, you have to start changing your palate to learn how to taste food all over again. So if there's some things that you're struggling with, whether it be nachos and things like that, there's MSG and a lot of that stuff that we're used to that taste, you're going to have to cleanse yourself. I hate the word detox, but cleanse and retrain and get your palate to start tasting food again and start understanding how to bring out those flavors with cilantro and fresh herbs and things like that. There's so much out there to make food taste good. So eating healthy is not bland. It's really easy to eat healthy. On that note, I know I'm going to have a lot of time, but...
You're at 10 minutes.
I got 10 minutes? Oh, okay.
No, you're at 10.
I'm at 10. How much time do I have?
She's right at 10 minutes.
Real quick, so that's on the nutrition side of things. Okay. But on the strength training side, I know when I came in, Jenny was talking about some exercises, and she gave you a handout on bodyweight exercises. And a lot of you, the majority of you here are women, but I can address this to the men too. Many times when we start working out, I hear people say things like, well, I'm going to do a lot of cardio first, get the fat off, and then I'm going to build some muscle. And that's not a good idea to do. Your muscle helps you. Your muscle is a part of your metabolism. And a lot of times when we're not feeding it enough protein or even enough carbohydrates, which can assist in muscle growth, our metabolism starts to slow down. People say, well, I'm 40-something, you know how you start slowing down. No, actually, I don't. Because what happens is we force our bodies to slow down. We don't go the same way we used to. You know, our diets change from when we were younger. I mean, you have kids at home and they probably go through a box of cereal in a day, right? Who has teenagers at home? Cereal is gone in the house, is it not? I'm telling you. You know that. Not saying I want you guys to go and eat cereal, you're going to burn fat. MJ said, no, that's not true. But what I'm saying is, understand that we sometimes, in our way of living, we adjust and we are the ones that actually slow. I'm not blaming you, but some of the things that we're doing, we start changing our diet and we are the ones that actually slow down our metabolism. When you're 40-something, your metabolism doesn't slow down that majorly by 40. But that's another key area I'm going to go into about hormones, because I know everybody's been hearing all this crazy stuff about hormones. But your metabolism doesn't slow down that much with your age, but it's what we're doing, and you start losing a little bit of muscle, maybe because of our diets, or when you're doing a tremendous amount of cardio, running, things like that, things that are tearing down muscle fibers, so you start to lose a little bit of muscle. Fortunately, when you lose a little bit of muscle, things start to look a little flabby, because fat does not have shape, and muscle does. How many people could tell me or answer this? Which one weighs more, fat or muscle?
Muscle.
Everybody say muscle? Anybody not say muscle? I just want to know. Everybody agrees it's muscle. All right, let's demyth the myth right now. Muscle and fat weigh the exact same thing. I know you hear it all the time. Well, you know, muscle weighs more than fat. That's why I look a little thicker. You hear that all the time. First of all, it's an excuse. No, it makes sense. Muscle, right, should weigh more than fat. But you could take, and I wish I had a PowerPoint. I do this all the time since I talk to people. You can take a 200-pound man that's at 40% body fat, and you take a 200-pound man that's at 5% body fat, bodybuilding. 40% body fat and 5%. You think they look different? Oh yeah, but they both weigh 200 pounds. Doesn't make sense, does it? If you take 5 pounds of rocks and put it in a pillowcase, and you take 5 pounds of feathers and pull them in a pillowcase, how much weight do you have? 5 pounds. But two different things, aren't they? Feathers and rocks. Muscle, or I should say fat, takes up more space than muscle, but it weighs the same thing in the amount. And this is why I can sit here and honestly tell you that I am 156 pounds. Yes, I am. I'm 156 pounds. The muscle that I carry is a different situation. Now, there is a layer of winter installation going on right now, too. But I say that to you to just, I know I'm sharing my weight. I shouldn't do that, right? But what I say that to you is if I got somebody that weighed 156 pounds, that is my height, that is carrying 30% body fat, it will be a completely different look than me. So sometimes as you're going on, I'm almost wrapping up. Can I wrap up good? Sometimes when you're sitting here and you're trying to lose weight, put that scale away for a little bit. Get on a meal plan, come to boot camp, and watch your inches change. Don't stress the scale. You know, sometimes you start looking, your clothes are fitting differently, and you're like, well, my clothes are fit, but the scale's just put that scale away for a little bit. Sometimes when you start to work out, you gain a little bit of muscle, you feel tight, you say, oh, I'm gonna stop because I feel like I'm getting bigger. Your body has to go through a change, just like when you melt an ice cube. It doesn't instantly turn into water, it takes a process to turn into water. Your body's no different. So as you may be adding a little bit of muscle, your body, again, we're not outsmarting it, it recognizes, right? You're feeding it, you're tearing muscle fibers, you're rebuilding, then your body's metabolism starts to pick up. Then it starts to eat into your fat stores. Hoorah, that's what we need, right? So, and all that, because I'm wrapping up, muscle weighs more than fat? No, the same. So don't stress the scale so much. Real quick, a number from, I'm done, that's it for me. But I do have gifts that I want to give you. A number from 1 to 50.
50.